Howdy, everyone. I am Justin du Coeur. I am coming to you from the Barony of Carolingia, which is Boston. So forgive me if I look slightly tired. I'm 3 hours ahead of most of you. Um, uh, Tonight's class is really basically a session of the Low Company of Gamesters and Gamblers of Carolingia. I'm going to be teaching it in the style that I usually do this in person, which is that I am going to teach for the beginning part of the class, and then we're going to do some Q&A. And actually, we'll do some Q&A during the teaching. If you have questions, I encourage you to, unmute yourself and speak up. This is not a super formal lecture. And frankly, if I just talk for half an hour, it's less interesting. So questions are highly welcome. But anyway, I'm going to teach for a while. I'm going to be teaching 2 period card games tonight. We decided that the subject of the night was going to be cards, and that's in large part because card games are the thing that I've had the most success teaching online. And I'm going to be teaching you 2 games that I teach a lot and have become fairly popular around the society, Laugh and Lie Down and Early French Tarot. These are both my reconstructions, so please don't take any of this as gospel truth. I am, just another researcher, and there is lots of room to disagree with me. But these particular reconstructions have proven to be fairly popular, so you will see them if you get out to Penzic and stuff like that. So let's start out talking a little bit about the history of playing cards. There is a lot of, you will hear a lot of claims made about the history of cards. Some of them are true, some of them aren't. By and large, what we know is that the standard-ish concept of playing cards, the notion of, you've got these cards, they have about 4 suits, they have about 13 cards per suit, hit Europe about 1375. We know that it hit Europe about 1375 because about 2 years after that was when all the bishops started saying, these are evil and you should not do them. They are sinful and you must stop. Usually, as a good rule of thumb, when the church starts telling you that something is bad, that means it is popular. Basically, starting in the latter part of the 14th century, playing cards came into Europe probably from the Muslim countries. They had been around in rather different form there for a while. And before that, they probably originally came from Chinese tile games, which date a long ways back and are kind of like playing card games. So roughly speaking, that's the likely genealogy of standard cards is China through Islam into Europe, hitting there in the 14th century. Not long after that, you got tarot cards. Now, tarot cards are interesting and weird. Tarot cards are a deck of cards with a permanent trump suit, and what that means I'll get into as we teach. The tarot decks came in a couple of decades after the standard cards, and they were fancy and they are pretty, and nobody really knows where the trumps came from. There's lots of speculation. You will hear people talk about them being descended from ancient Egyptian symbology. It's possible. I don't think it's very likely. My favorite speculation is that they come from the Italian parades, basically, the civic parades of the time. This notion of a succession of symbolic floats. If you look at some of the cards, they look a little bit like that, and it kind of fits. Suffice it to say, there are some good scholars who have done a lot of research into this, and I can recommend a book or two if you want to dig into it. Anyway, that's enough about what cards are. Not really my area of expertise, but I'm happy to chat about it. The games that we're going to be playing tonight are fairly late period. Most card games that we have are pretty late period because that's when we have the sources from. We know that they were playing card games in the 15th and 16th centuries. They weren't writing as much down, especially not in English. So the 2 games we're going to be doing tonight are Early French Tarot, which is a tarot-based game that is adapted from late 16th century sources and Laugh and Lie Down, which is a late 16th century game from which we are using a mid 17th century set of rules. The way we're going to play tonight is on a website called playingcards.io. And at this point, I will start to share my screen. So I'm going to give you a succession of websites to play with. So first of all, what we're looking at now is Quirky. Quirky is the company that I am the CEO of. Suffice it to say, it's a wiki on steroids. It is designed for making it easy to set up various specialized data-driven websites. Just about the first one that was built about 8 years ago was the Period Games website. And here I'm going to put the URL here so that folks can play along if they would like. This is the central database for all online information about period games. I've been running this site for about 25 years or so. And if you come across anything on the subject that isn't in here, please tell me and I will happily add it. It's a pretty big database. If we go into the all games section, it breaks it down by category. So there's card games and board games and stuff like that. And there are sections on each of the games we're going to be playing tonight. Below that, you will find the actual reconstructions. And for those who like to have the rules open while you are playing, you might want to open those pages up. Suffice it to say, these are the really in-depth rules for each of these games as I interpreted them. And both of these reconstructions came out of the Low Company of Gamesters and Gamblers, which is basically what we're doing a session of tonight. We basically take the primary sources, try to interpret them, play with them, and see what we get out of it, and eventually get ourselves to a point where we have a reconstruction that we actually like. The site that we're going to be playing with is playingcards.io, and I will give you specialized links for the various tables, but this site is really nice. Suffice it to say, what it does is it simply provides you with a shared tabletop with some cards on it and allows everyone to play a game very much like playing a real game. So after I teach these games, we're going to break into tables and everyone will play. And at that point, we'll probably break the Zoom call into various breakout rooms so that everybody can have a room per table without all stepping on each other. So that's most of the important bits. I am going to actually teach by showing, and shortly I am going to be asking for volunteers to play along. Before we go into that, suffice it to say, playingcards.io lets you basically upload the design of a table and a little bit of the rules. This site here is the rules that I have worked up for it. So there are several card games and several backgammon games here, and you should feel free to go to this and play with these games yourselves if you would like sometime. And I think that's enough blathering. Let's actually get into some playing. So at this point, I'm going to teach Laugh and Lie Down, and I need 4 volunteers to join me in this. Beautiful. Okay, so we have players. Now, the idea
I do want to call out one other thing.
Yep.
The whole clicking on a name and typing your own name in works a lot better if you click on your own web browser and not on the Zoom session.
Yes.
I may have done that.
I am familiar with how that can work. Okay, so Laugh and Lie Down. This is a game from the late 16th century. Like I said, the rules are actually mid 17th century that we're playing with. This is the earliest game we know in, oh yes, and Isadora, yes, feel free to just watch for now. We are just playing a sample game while I teach. We're not actually going to play all the way through this game. We're just going to play through some of it, teach it, and then move on to Tarot. So this game is the earliest game that I am aware of in essentially the Go Fish category. It is a game of making pairs of cards. So if you take a look at the table here, there is a deal button over here, which deals the cards out. You've got the deck over here on the left with the recall and shuffle button. Everybody has the place where their cards are going to go and the chips that they're going to be gambling with, because this is a gambling game. And so let's start off. I'm going to start as the first dealer, and everybody take 2 of your chips and put them over here, except the dealer wagers 3 because the dealer has a slight advantage. Okay, everybody wagered your bet. Now we press the deal button and a lot of cards go out. So what's going on?
Cards for everyone.
So what's going on here is you have your own deck of your own hand of cards, and we've got a bunch of face-up cards in the middle. Now, to take a look at your own cards, oops, you grab the number and you drag it down to the bottom. So everybody can see my cards because I'm demonstrating, but each of you players drag it down to the bottom and you will see your own cards. And I encourage you to arrange them. Oh, and if you grab the number, you can grab the entire stack. You don't have to drag them one at a time. That little number handle is really useful that way. So I recommend sorting your cards by number. It'll make it easier to play the game. And what's going on here is this is a game of making pairs. That's basically all that's going on here is you are trying to make pairs between what's in your hand and what's on the table. And we're just going to take turns doing that. This is almost a luck-based game. There's a little bit of strategy because there's a special rule that if at any point you can demonstrate, that there is a pair of cards that nobody else can grab except for you, you can grab those as well. So what that means, for example, is, we don't have any great examples here. But for example, if I've got 2 10s here. If I made a pair of 10s from one of my cards and one from the table, and there was another 10 on the table, then I would know that nobody else can ever make that other pair of 10s. I own that pair. I can grab that whenever I feel like it. It doesn't have to be on my turn, just whenever I can see it happening. Similarly, if there's a 3 of a kind on the table, so for example, there are 3 aces on the table. Whoever has the other ace, when they make a pair, they can grab all of the aces because they can demonstrate nobody else will ever be able to make that pair of aces. So let's start playing.
Can you make a pair with the 2 10s that are in your hand?
You cannot. It always has to involve, you can only do that, sorry, there's a special case. If someone else, if there's a 10 on the table and someone else grabs it, then they have made a pair with those 10s, and now you have proof. Now I would have proof that these 10s can never be paired, and I can grab them whenever I like. So basically, whenever you're in that situation, you have safety cards. You have cards that nobody else will ever be able to grab out from under you, and therefore you want to hold those for last. That's the little bit of strategy in this game. The important thing in the game is that A, you want to make as many pairs as possible, and B, you want to be the last person standing. The last person standing gets, the better part of half the pot. So you want to slow play as much as you can. There will be limits to what you can accomplish. So anyway, let's start trying to play. I will grab my queen and this queen. And I think Jacqueline goes next. So take a card from your hand that matches one on the table and make that pair. Okay, so you're taking 3s. Oh yeah, and please do say what you are claiming so that other people can notice it. Catherine?
I am going to take the jack.
Oop, that's not yours. Yours is above. That's actually the deck that you're putting them onto.
Oh, okay. Okay, so I am taking the jack.
Okay. Clovis?
The sevens. Oop.
Okay. Rob?
I need to think. There aren't many things left other than those aces.
Oh, yes. That's the trick of this game.
Okay. I am taking the king.
Okay. Now, do I have anything I can do? Yes, I can do fours. So I'm going to claim 4 and 4. Jacqueline?
Okay. I have pairs in my hand, but there's nothing I can pair on the table.
Oh dear. That means you are out. So you have to take all of the cards in your hand and put them onto the table.
Okay, anywhere other than the recall and shuffle spot work?
Yeah, and it doesn't even have to be in the spaces. You know, the spaces are convenient, but just make sure they don't overlap too much so that everyone can see them. You want to flip them face up as you do this. So put them into the spaces here and flip them up insofar as you can. And basically, now everybody else can play with your cards. You're out of this round. You are out of this round. I'm not sure there are enough spaces for you. I think there aren't.
Nope.
So just put one over on the side or something.
So even though I had my own pairs, I couldn't play them.
Correct. Unless someone, let's just make sure this isn't, none of your pairs are things that other people have played. I don't think so. No.
Yeah, I had a 4 and there were just a pair of 4s played.
Right, but you only have 1 4. If you had a pair of 4s, you could have grabbed them. But yes, this is the way the game works. You sometimes just get knocked out early. So now we're on to Catherine's turn.
Okay. I am taking the 5.
Lovis?
All right, I am taking the 2.
Okay.
I am taking the 10.
Okay. Okay, so now, strategy point. I have these 2 10s in my hand, and she's just grabbed the other 2 10s. I can now take these 10s whenever I feel like it, but I don't have to do it now, and it's actually in my best interest to not do it too early. They're safe cards, so I want to hold on to them as long as I can. So I'm instead going to grab 8s here. Jacqueline's out, so we're on to Catherine.
Okay.
Oh, actually, Jacqueline, here, let's flip one of your counters so as a marker that you're out. These counters are two-sided, which makes it a useful way to sort of see who's in and who's out.
Got it.
Okay. And Jacqueline, have you done what you need to do?
I am out, so please go ahead.
Okay. So I am going to take the 2.
Okay.
I'm going to take the 4.
All right.
My turn?
Yep.
I'm going to take the jack.
All right. So at this point, I am at the end of the line. So I know that these 10s are safe because someone else grabbed the other pair. So I'm going to grab these 10s now, and then I am out. And look, 2 happy 6s for whoever has the other 6. And I think we're around to Catherine.
Okay, yep, so it's my turn. So I am going to take that 6. And now it's Clovis.
Yep.
I'm gonna take the 9.
Okay, I'm going to take the 8.
Out, out, Catherine.
And I'm going to take the other 6.
Ah,
I should note, by the way, it doesn't happen often. There's a special rule that if a 4 of a kind lands on the table, which means that nobody could take any of them, the dealer gets all 4 of them. That's one of the reasons the dealer has to ante more than everybody else.
Oh, I believe it's my turn. I'm gonna take the queen.
Okay.
Okay, and
my turn.
Yep.
Mhm.
Okay, I'm going to take 3s from my hand because Jacqueline has the other 3s.
Okay.
And then I go out.
Yeah, if you can't match anything on the table,
Okay.
take your remaining cards and lay them down, which is
Oh.
where the name comes from.
I guess I'm out because
You were able to make a play. So long as you're able to make a play, you're still good.
okay.
Yeah, you
Uh,
made a play on your turn.
Yep.
Oh.
You're out next turn if you can't make a play.
Yes, this is you. It is very commonly the case that you're looking at it going, oh my God, I can't do anything else. And you're sitting there praying that someone else goes out before you do and lays down the cards that you need.
Okay.
Excellent.
That's why slow playing is really important. So we're back around to Catherine.
okay, and I am taking the 7.
And I'll take the 5.
We still don't know who has that last ace.
Mm-hmm. And Catherine?
And I have the last ace.
Okay, so you get all 3 of those.
So the next question is, does Clovis have a 9?
Why?
I do have a 9.
Okay, so you take the 9s. And now Catherine is technically out. Catherine, do you have any cards left?
Yes, I do. And
Okay.
there's my king.
Darn
Okay.
it.
So now we are done. So Clovis is the last person standing. And as such, it immediately gets the remaining cards. So Catherine, you've put both of your cards down on the table? Okay, yeah, good. Those go to Clovis, and Clovis gets 5 out of the pot immediately.
So that's his prize for lasting longest?
Correct. Now, everybody else, the break-even point, you see that in the rules here at the top, it says that the 8 cards is break-even. That means that if you have 8 cards left now, you don't do anything. If you have fewer than 8 cards, you put 1 coin into the pot for every pair that you are below 8 cards. So Jacqueline needs to put 3 into the pot. And everybody who is above 8 gets 1 out of the pot for each one that they are above 8. So Catherine puts 3 in. Moral takes 1, and Catherine takes 4. Oh, and Clovis also takes 4. And if everybody has counted correctly, this should be correct. This game is all about the math of the betting. If everybody counts correctly, there will be no chips left over.
I
But that's
think his excellence is taking his taxes.
Yes.
So that's basic Laugh and Lie Down, the 5-player version, which is the official version of the game. I should talk a little bit about where this comes from. This game we have from the book, A Volume of Plays by Francis Willoughby, which is late 17th century and is one of the 2 only really good books on period games. There's one book from the 17th century and there is one book from the 13th century. And they account for the large majority of the really great games that we have. This one is where most of our best card games come from. And Francis Willoughby was a scientist. He was a member of the Royal Academy and all that. So he described the game as it was played and then went into some analysis of, and you can play it with 4 and change the rules like this, and you can play it with other numbers. So suffice it to say, Michael Wolfauer and I, between us, have done a bunch of analysis of this, and Mike wrote up a cheat sheet. Yeah, there's the cheat sheet that lists all of the combinations of, for different numbers of players, this is how many cards you have to deal, how much everybody bets, and how much you get out of it. So that's Laugh and Lie Down. Let's now go play Tarot. So this time I need 3 volunteers for early French Tarot. So some background. Tarot games are pretty much always trick-taking games, and I don't know who here has experience with trick-taking. We're going to go into the details. Suffice it to say, this is not only one of the oldest trick-taking games, it is also one of the longest lived. People think of the tarot deck as being about divination. That is mostly modern in the SCA sense. That is to say, the notion of the tarot deck being mainly for divination was invented in the 18th century. We know who invented it, and was popularized in the 19th century. As far as we can tell, in period, it was mostly just a deck of cards. It was probably used for some divination, just like the ordinary deck of cards was used for divination, but mostly it was playing cards, and you played games with it. And this is a simplified version of what one of the attested games is. We have a few different versions of tarot games from period played with the more or less standard tarot deck. They are pointlessly complex, and this game deliberately simplifies it a little bit to get rid of the stupider complexities. Suffice it to say, the stupid complexity that this dispenses with is that in the period game, the male suits count upwards and the female suits count downwards. That is to say, sticks and staves count in one direction and coins and cups count in the other direction. This has no real strategic effect on the game, save to make it more confusing. So I just don't teach that. So this is played with a reasonably standard period tarot deck. The deck that we will be using is a modern artistic rendering of an 18th century deck, but it's pretty close to what a period tarot deck looked like. And it's available with an open source license, which is why it's the version that we use. So I'm going to deal out the cards. Everybody now has a hand of 12 cards. Grab it by the number and pull it into your hand area. So let's talk a little bit about these cards. That's wow. Okay, I got a very good deal. I got an interesting deal. Let's talk about these cards. First of all, the suits. These are swords. We're not going to worry about secrecy too much here. Does anyone have staves? I do not have any staves. Let's see. Let's find a stave.
Are
Come on.
are staves the ones that are making an X in the middle?
Probably pull one out and show it to me.
Sword.
Yes. Okay. So these are swords and staves. You can tell apart because swords bend because they're made of metal, and staves don't because they're made of wood. So bendy things are swords, straight ones are staves.
Okay.
There are also cups, which look like cups, and coins, which look like coins.
How do you organize them on your rack?
So that's a matter of taste. I generally, here, let me show you. I generally put all of the trumps at the end. And generally I put them in numerical order. You will note that in this deck, the trumps are a separate suit. For those of you who haven't played with Tarot, the trumps are a separate suit of 21 cards, more or less. And they have Roman numerals at the top, and they have pictures. They are in order from 1 to 21. And there is a special card that is neither an ordinary card nor a trump, which is the Fool, Le Mat. The Fool is weird, and I will get to it in a few minutes. So this is, like I said, a trick-taking game. And what we're going to be doing is going around the table, taking turns, putting cards down, and figuring out who has the highest one in a given suit. So basically, someone is going to play the first card. Everyone else has to play in that suit if they can. Otherwise, they may play a trump. If they can play neither that suit nor a trump, they can play whatever they like, but they will lose that trick. And a trick is 4 cards, 1 card from each player. So let's play this and show it. So I will start. I am going to play the 3 of swords. So Isadora, play a sword if you have one. And let's keep them separate so that everyone can see what's going on. Actually, sorry, let's be smart about this. Play your card near your area so we can keep track of who played what. So Raven, play a sword.
Well, this doesn't have a number on it, so I'm assuming it's a sword.
Could be. There are also, yes. So that is the Queen of Swords, the Reine d'Épée. Sorry, everything is in French because period. So épées are swords, and the Reine is the queen. So that is the Queen of Swords. So that is currently leading.
So which is higher, the queen or the jack?
The queen. So you have page, you have page, knight, chevalier, reine, queen, and king. Roy.
Wow.
Roy is the highest.
Okay.
That's it's your
Okay.
turn.
Is it my turn?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
It's pronounced Jimena, just by the way.
Okay. Good to know. Thank you. Wasn't
think-
sure.
That's
Okay.
I didn't
So-
intend for it to be a trap.
Yep,
Sometimes I call her Kamindi.
So Raven played the queen and wins and gets all of these cards. So put all the cards into Raven's stack.
Yay. And me too, right?
Okay, so Raven, yes. So yes, put yours there too. And now you get to lead the next trick. You choose which suit to lead with. You are allowed to lead with trump. That is a strategic decision. I don't usually recommend it, but certainly I don't
But
recommend
high
it
level
against-
something else is good too.
Yes. Well, I mean, if you've got at this point in the game, if you've got a king of something, play it now and steal everybody else's cards.
All right.
Oh, okay. That is not the king. That's the emperor. That is trump number 4.
Okay, so let's go with this then. Or what about, well, somebody will have a queen. I guess I'll just do this because
Sure.
I'll lose. It's up there,
Okay.
but it's not the top.
10 of sticks.
Bring out your sticks.
Boat on a
Wait.
river.
Gonna do. Hold on a sec. I'm strategizing.
Okay, now I don't have any staves. I wound up with a really good deal here. So I am going to play the 1 of trump, and I'm going to do that because the 1 of trump is great. If you take a look at the scoring up here at the top left, most of the trumps are not worth any points. The 1 is worth 4 points. The 21 is worth 4 points, and the fool, which is weird, and we will get to it, is worth 5 points. So the 1 is well worth capturing if you can, and this is why I'm playing it now, because I might actually be able to keep it. So Isadora, do you have sticks?
If you don't have sticks, play a trump so you can steal his 1.
Yes, but this is why I played the 1 now. It is very hard to keep the 1, so I played it because I had the opportunity. Okay, and at this point, I'm going to play nice. I'm going to play friendly rather than. I have a good enough hand that I could probably clear the table, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to play the ace of coins. Play coins if you've got them.
Are aces high or low?
Aces are low. And actually, I believe Isadora comes before Raven.
Oh,
Oh,
That's
sorry.
okay.
that's
Not a
okay.
problem.
I don't know if I
Does
put
it-
coins now, but
Yep. Okay, and Isadora takes that.
I actually have one that I can't tell what it is, so that's what I'm going to play next.
Yeah, go for it. I mean, this is very much a friendly teaching round. I mean, we're not okay. So that is the ace of sticks.
Okay.
How do I
Sorry.
tell?
Everybody
So
has to play
everybody
staves
has
again
to-
if you can.
We're interpreting.
Yeah, right. Feel free if you've got a card that you're not sure about. Feel free to drag it out and we'll take a look
I'm
at it.
sure what
It's
it
Raven.
is, except I'm not sure what number it is.
Well, okay, so that is the ace, queen,
Okay.
and knight of sticks, and I don't have any sticks, which means I must play a trump. So I'm going to play a trump, and I will take this.
A friendly game, he says.
You
And he
know,
trumps and takes it all.
I got a really good deal. I'm not going to kid you. All right, I'm going to play the 4 of cups.
So it's better to play high or low at this point if you've got more than 1.
It depends on what else has been played. If you're playing a suit that hasn't been played very much, play high in the hope that you will win it. If the suit has been played a lot, then there's more of a chance that somebody will be void in that suit and they'll play a trump and take it away from you. So basically, play your high cards early. You know, kings usually I find you want to play as early as you can. Okay, and Jimena? How's it pronounced? Jimena, okay.
Oh, onto my stack. Yeah, just pretend that the X is an H.
Yep. So I am, among other things, a sometime royal herald, so I care a lot about these things. I am a royal herald who got the queen's name wrong during the coronation ceremony. It is my most legendary story of me in the SCA. So
I was a Spanish major with a love of linguistics. So the fact that the J and the X in Spanish are interchangeable just thrills me no end. So.
Right. Yep.
Okay. Oh, do I?
So you lead. Yep. You won. So you lead this one off.
Oh dear. My other one? Okay.
Okay, Queen of Cups. I have to play a cup, so I'll play that.
I'm relatively sure I don't have any cups.
Okay, it's fairly likely at this point.
So
Okay, so you play Trump 14 and you take it.
whatever.
Huzzah! And now you go.
And
Okay. And that's
Queen of
the
Coins.
Queen of Coins. Low. Okay.
Okay, Raven.
I
All
think
right.
that's all I can do.
Okay, that's fine. So at this point, I am going to play the Fool, Lamont. The Fool is weird. The Fool is a special case. The Fool always loses. It is the lowest card in the deck, but it is called the Excuse. That is the way this card was referred to in most tarot card games, as far as I can tell. What this means is essentially I lose, but I get to exchange it for a hostage card. I get to ransom it for another card. So I lose, but I am going to instead give let's see, Raven won that. I would give Raven the ace of batons instead, because I don't want to lose the Lamont because it is the highest scoring card in the game. So the rule of thumb with Lamont is if you have it in your hand, that's great. You'll be able to keep it so long as you win something. And you can play it at any time at all. The Excuse is sort of this weird free card. So Raven won that one, and all the other cards go to him. And Raven, you lead us off.
Okay.
Why
Sure.
can't there be a period form of
Swords. Knight of Swords.
Okay.
Yes, I do. Oh no.
Oh, wait a minute. Sorry, I have a sword.
Do I have something?
Look at that.
I don't think I do.
What do you do if you don't have part of the deck
Yeah.
and you run out of
I think we're gonna have to.
trump cards? Not play around or
Then you lose. Then if you get to the point where you can't play anything useful, you just play whatever you got.
gotcha. Oh, what's that?
Lamont. That is Trump 21. It is the best card in the game. The Lamont is. I pronounce Lamont as "you win." It is the card that beats all other cards.
Très bien.
No,
And I'm
bien.
glad that you got it out of the way because I have Trump 20 and now it is no longer threatened.
Darn it.
But you lead off this trick.
This is kind of like bridge.
It's an ancestral. Well, it's kind of ancestral. Bridge is post-period. It is like these things, but it adds the concept of bidding. I mean, bridge basically assumes that you've done all of this trick-taking stuff and you know how to play trick-taking games, and now you have to do this additional complication that you have to say what you're going to win. And I think I won that one. With Trump 12. And at this point, I'm just going to start playing trumps because that's all I got. And everyone must play trump if you can.
A likely story.
Cutthroat. Sucking out our trump cards.
Yep. But Isadora took that one.
Can I play a trump even though I have a suit card left?
You may, yes.
Huh.
You are allowed to lead trump if you would like to do so.
It's a losing card no matter what I do.
You can see my hand. You can see that I'm more or less going to win.
Yeah.
But,
No, it's just that's the best card I've got.
right? Yeah.
And I just throw out whatever.
Yep. If you can't follow suit and you don't have a trump, play whatever. It's going to lose.
It is
Encouraging.
And I play trump 20, and everyone
of
throw out
course.
your last card.
Just take it.
Yep.
I'm telling you, there needs to be a period version of Scrabble, and I would take you all.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, everyone should be very clear. This was not due to me being skillful. This was I got a really good deal here.
I know.
So anyway, now scoring. You will see that you have underneath your deck plus and minuses. You can't go below 0. Take your cards into your hand area and score them up according to what it says here. You for the special cards, the Fool is worth 5, Trump 21 is worth 4, the Magician is worth 4, Kings are 4, Queens are 3, Knights are 2, Pages are 1. And if you are above or below 12, gain or lose 1 point for each card you are above or below 12.
I'm lost.
Oh, this sounds a lot like math.
Yeah, this is,
Yeah, it's counting.
I think I have a queen.
I think that's my biggest problem as well, is identifying what's the king and queen, because the bottom half of my screen is cut off.
Yeah,
king,
I
right?
mean, pull things out as necessary.
Is that a king?
Leroy.
Is this
No, that is a trump. That's the emperor.
that's a
Yes,
page?
that's the.
Pearl,
Yep, that's a page. Sorry, yes, valet is page.
Ah, okay. So that's 1.
Yes.
Okay.
Queen, queen.
And this one is
I think that's all I have.
the queen, so that's 3. Is that a king on mine?
I don't think they're counting correctly.
What?
Use this.
Oh, okay. My husband says I'm not counting correctly.
I'm not terribly worried about it.
The king is 4, so that's 7. The knight, 2.
What?
King
Yeah.
for 4.
What should the total of each round come up to?
Unlike Laugh and Lie Down, this one doesn't have a guaranteed total because you'll notice there are 30 cards we haven't played.
So I think those are.
So the total of the table will generally be positive, but how much it comes to varies a lot.
Okay. So a card like what Raven has up right now, what does that count for?
That's just a card. That basically the important thing is this business down here that above or below 12 cards, you are gaining or losing points based on simply the number of cards.
Gotcha.
So every card is essentially worth a point, and only these few are special cards are worth extra.
Okay.
Oh,
Gotcha.
so it's a base of 12 and then you add.
1, 2.
That's a way to think about it. Sure. Well, it's not that you start with gaining a base of 12. It's that 12 is the 0 point. If you have fewer than 12 cards, you lose points because you have fewer than that.
The world. So that specific one is worth 4.
So if I have 8 cards, I lose how many points?
4.
4?
Yep.
Trump.
This is way too math for me.
Yeah, so the other trump cards, do they count for anything, or is it
No.
just Okay, Le Mans and Le Mans.
Yep.
Okay.
Le Mans, Le Battleur, and Le Mans are the only ones that count.
Le Battleur.
The Magician,
Oh, the
Trump
Magician?
won.
Okay.
So if I had two basically royal cards.
Yep.
Everything else was either a trump card or nothing. How
Yep.
many points have I got in addition to the 4 for the royal cards?
So how many cards do you have total?
12, I think.
12. Okay, so you wind up with the 4 points basically.
Okay.
You broke even plus you broke even on number of cards plus the 4 points for the royals.
Gotcha.
And the ace is just a regular card, right?
Yep. Ace is really a very low card in this. It's the aces are all very pretty, but they aren't worth anything.
Okay. I think I got it.
So that's the way the game works. That's
Time number
basically
2.
yeah, that is basically the entire game. The game is played to 50 points total. I think we are largely set for the evening. I am happy to answer any questions if anybody has them, or provide pointers to any of this stuff if anyone would like it. Pretty much everything we've done tonight is available online, and it's all free.
I just want to say thank you. That was fun and very educational. I'll pursue more games online now.
Yeah. I mean, you have to hunt around a bit, but there's a fair amount out there.
Yeah.
This is
Oh,
good
your
for.
link will help.
Yep. This site is good for card games. It is also not bad for backgammon variations, and there are a bunch of places where you can play chess.
So the card game rooms that we were just using, are those accessible for us to go in and play?
Yeah, more or less. So the key thing is that playingcards.io, let me just post links into chat again. Playingcards.io
I just hit
is
roll rate,
free.
so I got that going for me.
And basically what you do from there is you can upload games. You create a custom room and you go into the editor, and in the editor it says import from file. And so you just need to get the file, and where you get the files from is here. This is my online repository of games that go into playingcards.io.
Okay, excellent. Well, thank you.
So there are 1, 2, 3, 4 card games and 3 backgammon variations in there.
Oh, excellent. Okay, well, if it's okay with you, we'll maybe add those into the YouTube notes.
Please do. That stuff is all available for everyone to make use of as they see fit. Yeah, and ping me if you've got any questions. I'm happy to help people get started on this stuff. This is one of the SCA things you can do under the current circumstances. So I try to make it as easy as possible for folks to do it.
Thank you very much.
Quite welcome. So at this point, I think I'm going to wander off and start moving towards bed because it's almost 11 for me.
Oh, yeah.
Just can you give us your contact information?
Sure. Here. Yes. Broadly speaking, I am Coeur at Everything on Earth. If you are on any major website and you try Coeur, you will probably find me. Good to meet you all.
Thank you again for joining us. It was a very much a pleasure. Thank you.
Happy to.